Welcome to the Bev Boys basketball broadcast, where we talk Bevs, basketball, and whatever else is on our mind. Really, today I'm hosting. My name's Alvin, and with me I've got Tyler.
What's up?
And I've got Nick.
How you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. Thanks for asking. I know that was general, but I'll take that to mean me as someone who finds a lot of value in their self-importance. So. And because of that, we're gonna start with me with the beverages.
Ooh, okay.
This wouldn't
Setting
be the
the
Bev Boys
tone.
basketball broadcast without the bevs. And I've got a big hitter here. I've got Ramune. Y'all know Ramune?
The hell is that?
It's the drink that has a marble on the top.
Yes, I've seen those.
I have no idea why it has it in there. But
does it serve any kind of purpose, or is it just like just for show?
I think it's for funsies, but I don't really understand. Really, maybe it's some cultural thing. And I've always wanted it when I was a kid because I saw other people drinking it, and I just couldn't afford it, and I was too afraid to ask my parents for it. So I'm doing it today. We're doing it real big. So
long time coming.
Yeah. So it says up front. Can't really see it. Says fun marble drink right there because there is a marble in there. I
love how specific it is.
Yeah. It says removing marble. Go ahead.
What kind of drink is it? I don't remember.
So my understanding is that Ramune is some loose translation of lemonade. I don't think it is lemonade, but it's got carbonated water, corn syrup, citric acid, artificial flavor, sodium citrate, and calcium lactate. And it doesn't look carbonated, but I think once I push down this marble, it'll do just that. So up top, you've got this little lid thing, and this piece comes out. I don't know if y'all can see it. Obviously not. But you just push that down and give it a whirl. So we're going to
see this bad boy in action.
Look
at that.
You see that?
Ooh.
No, you don't, because it's
a lot of work for a bev. Wow.
So it's pretty interesting. You've got the bubbles around the marble.
They're all clumping together.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I totally forgot about that drink. That's so cool.
Where did you get that?
Just at Smith's. I'm glad that they have it. Oh. This tastes like Sprite, but a little bit better. It's not as sweet.
It's carbonated?
Yeah, it's carbonated, but it's not as carbonated. So it doesn't hit the back of your throat. I'm pretty happy with this, actually. That was really good. But it's also $1.50. So
what do you give it out of 10?
Out of 10? I don't know. I've been hesitant to give out scores, but
yeah, we haven't. I feel like that's something we haven't done with any of these. It's
the evolution of
we just kind of say if we like them or not. That may be a thing we have to start doing here.
Yeah, or start logging the beverages.
Yeah,
I think that would be really good.
A reigning champion.
Yeah,
well, and the fans want to know. Obviously, they follow our tastes. They're probably buying this stuff we're drinking. So
it's of great importance.
We are influencers after all.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. I'd probably give this an 8. This is one of my more favorite drinks, and I think a lot of it has to do with the marble. But it's also better than I thought it would be. I thought it wouldn't be very good, but it's pretty good. So
nice.
Anyways, now I'm done. Nick, what you got today?
So I've been up at my parents' place since yesterday morning, helping my dad do some work here. So I'm kind of just working with whatever they've got. So I'm cracking open a cold one of Canada Dry Seltzer. Yeah,
I knew it.
They've always got these on hand.
They got that or milk.
My dad said this when I grabbed it, and I kind of agree with him that the Canada Dry seltzers are better than
their weight
any other ones, and I'm starting to agree with that. I'm starting to kind of lean towards that. So maybe that's a hot take right there, that Canada Dry has the best sparkling water out there.
Interesting. Do you get any of the ginger taste with it?
Not with these. That would be kind of nice actually if they did, but no, this one is a nice little lemon lime kind of vibe to it. So, which I
Yeah.
think might be the best one of these ones.
Some
So,
good vibes.
yeah, not so dry when you're drinking a can of dry.
Boo.
You really when you drink Canada Dry, you're really, gonna
You won't
wet
wanna
your
cry
palate.
when you're
It's
drinking
ironic,
Canada
because
Dry.
you're staying hydrated, but it's you know.
Okay, well that's enough of that.
That's enough of that. How does that compare in the
Well,
compared to all the other drinks you've had?
it's higher up because I've kind of had some duds the last few I can't remember what I had the last time. Oh, I think I had a Celsius last time, which is like near the top of my list. But like before that, I had the pressed juice, which was kind of shitty. And I had the Guaraná from that off-brand thing that was like very good. It was
Yeah,
actually
those are
really
disappointing.
bad. So like I've had some stinkers lately. So this was pretty good. I'm gonna give it an 8 as well, because
Dang.
it's like wildly refreshing, the
Mhm.
perfect amount of flavor and the perfect amount of carbonation.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah.
Dang.
It's weirdly satisfying for such like a
Mhm.
simple regular brand drink. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually not super crazy about seltzer waters and stuff like that. Excuse me. But yeah, these ones hit a little different for sure.
Yeah. We should clarify. We've had a lot of interesting beverages in our short time here as the
Yeah.
Bad Boys basketball broadcast. None of us are elitist when it comes to the beverages. We're all drinking. We'll drink
We're just out
trash
here.
one day. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll drink whatever's there. They're all good. They all wet the palate, and I guess nothing wets the palate like Canada Dry.
Oh, baby, don't let the name fool you. It'll wet your palate real nice.
Hire us
That
for
was
marketing.
better. That was
Canada
better
Dry.
than what
Come
I
on,
said
dude. I'm
earlier.
looking at your website right now. Hire us, Bev Boys. Tyler.
Got you. Come sponsor us.
All right. So I had a roommate in my apartment who moved out last week, and he had previously ordered a box of energy drinks, and he just never came and got them. So we have like a dozen energy drinks, and he bought these. It's called Uptime. I'd never seen it before. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It's like a citrus energy drink,
Huh.
37 grams of sugar,
Oh God.
which is a lot. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess that's like an average can of soda, actually. but-
Yeah, it's 355 milliliters, so it's like a can of soda. Or what? I don't know what a can of soda is.
I guess I was talking more like the sugar intake.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. It's like a citrusy drink. It has a lot of carbonation though. Like it kind of makes your eyes water a little bit when you drink it. But
Good luck going to
Is
sleep
it?
tonight.
it tastes pretty good. It'll give you mental, physical. Oh, it says mental, physical energy drink. Natural caffeine. L-theanine. Nick, do you know what that is? You know what that is right there?
Not
L-theanine?
really, no.
No.
I don't know.
But I got to tell you, if you're intaking 37 grams of sugar, I can't imagine that's going to give you a whole lot of physical energy. Maybe
Yeah, I
about
don't think
5
so.
minutes worth.
I drank this before going to the bars a couple of nights ago, and it really didn't hit like a Red Bull, but it was good. I didn't get like jittery or anything.
Yeah.
I'd give it like a 6 or a 7. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
But it was
that's
free,
fair.
so that's cool.
Can't beat
Free
free.
makes it better.
Can't beat free.
But
A
hey,
12 pack.
speaking of, go ahead.
A 12 pack for Amazon is $30. And I have some research on L-theanine. It claims everything and does nothing. So
That sounds
it
about
claims
right.
anxiety and stress relief, increased focus, better immunity, tumor and cancer treatment, blood
Oh,
pressure
yeah, okay.
management.
I
Yeah.
have a hard time like that first one, like stress or like anxiety and stress relief. I'm sorry, but if you're like taking in a bunch of caffeine, that's probably not going to help with anxiety or stress relief. Like it's probably going to enhance it to some degree.
Yeah, not one bit.
Honestly, it's just like it tastes pretty good. It's enough caffeine to kind of wake you up a little bit, but it's too much sugar in my taste. Like that's about it.
Yeah.
But hey, enough about Uptime. How about Dame Time? Huh? Anyone?
Way to take my thunder, Tyler. So yeah, let's do it.
Is that what you were going to say, Alvin?
I was actually thinking about that. Yeah. All right.
Sorry.
Enough about Uptime and L-theanine, huh? Let's talk about Dame Time and Lillard's dreams.
I think it's time to trade Dame, but that's my hot take.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how hot a take that is yet, but go ahead.
Well, I don't think the Blazers are going to blow it up, considering they want to hire a new coach in Jason Kidd. So
He actually just came out and said he's not interested.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Like today, he said he took his name out of consideration.
I wonder why.
I think he wants a Steven Silas thing to happen to him.
I think he wants to keep working the LA thing until it hits his team.
Yeah.
Because I can't see Frank Vogel being there much longer.
Not if they keep sucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that was. We'll talk more about the Lakers in a little bit.
I mean, it was injuries this year. A lot of it was.
Yeah.
But they're definitely an imperfect roster still.
Yeah. When you have like 4 centers that you're paying minutes to or whatever, like
no shooting.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Well, you have 3 good, like decent centers, and then you have Anthony Davis who's playing crunch time center minutes. Like that's too much.
Yeah.
So, let's keep talking about Dame really quick. I think there's going to be a major mix-up. I think everyone else expects that too. When you consider the comments from like Yusuf Nurkic about not knowing where he's going to be next, and just Harry Stotts not being the coach anymore, like stuff's going to change, and which is interesting because they really revamped their roster in a lot of ways this past year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they revamped it towards defense. So in theory you have wings who can defend in like Derek Jones and Covington. Maybe not necessarily great man-to-man defenders, but they're really good team defenders. But you still have like CJ and Dame who, bless their hearts, like they can't play defense.
They're
like
undersized guards too, you know.
Yeah.
They're both 6'1", right?
Yeah.
Or no?
I thought CJ was like 6'3".
CJ is 6'1", Dame is 6'2".
That's crazy.
Listed.
Still not big guards.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm actually gonna fact check that really quick because I'm curious.
Yeah. I just for the life of me can't see them getting any better. Like, yeah, they could trade CJ and hope, but like, what are they going to get back that's better than him right now?
Ooh,
like maybe
Nick, you're right. CJ's 6'3".
I thought so. Okay, I thought he was a little bit bigger than that.
They're like borderline short,
but that's still like not big
mistake.
enough. Yeah, like that's still not big enough unless you have some really good sized, good defending wings or a anchor of a center to like make up for it or something like that, which they don't have any of.
I think if they had a bigger wing and someone who could like mix up the offense a little bit that isn't CJ, I think they'd be fine. Like
the thing is like, how do you go about getting someone like that? I don't think they really have any assets to do, and I don't see anybody signing with them that's like a free agent or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think what the one last move they could do would be what Toronto did to get Kawhi. I think they could package CJ McCollum, one of their young guys, maybe who do we have? Anthony Simons or Nasir Little.
Like oddly so important to that team. It's so weird how important he is to that team.
It's still not getting the job done though,
Yeah.
They
like
have to
if
do
they could do
something.
that and add in a first or two and get their Kawhi Leonard, like the Raptors did, I think that's the last move they can make before it's like there's nothing else they can do.
Yeah. The thing is like even with the Raptors, they had so a much better situation, like all around defenders at like every position, and Nick Nurse as your coach. Like,
Yeah.
Portland doesn't have that. They don't have like they have a couple guys, but I mean that also depends on what it would take to trade for somebody who could come in like a Kawhi or something like that. Because right now they would have to give up a good amount to get someone like that. And then it's like, okay, well, is your team that much better than it was before this trade? They just don't have the same amount of stuff in place that Toronto did. And
I mean, they got guys, Nurkic, Powell, Jones, Covington. Like that's a nice supporting cast.
Yeah, but I'm
Their
just
bench is
curious
still
what you
pretty
have
weak.
to give up. Which of those guys you'd have to give up to get somebody.
I think you're giving up CJ. You're doing the DeMar DeRozan type thing.
Sure.
You
I'm
know,
just curious how much better, like who could they get realistically that's better than CJ?
I think there's definitely some guys they could get. Hold on a sec.
Because if they are better, then they're going to need more than just CJ to trade.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
mean, they have picks they could trade. They're just future picks. And they have a couple young guys they could give up, but it's not like a great haul,
It's not. Yeah, they don't have a lot of good assets.
And honestly, that's why I think they should blow it up. Because, I mean, they could get an ass ton of assets back for Damian Lillard and CJ
It's
McCollum.
the smartest thing to do. Yeah.
And here's the thing. If you trade them before their contracts start to get extremely expensive, that just makes it even
That's
better
easier.
because their value is only going to go down from here on out because they're
Yeah.
making so much freaking money. It's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
sorry, let me finish that thought. Damian's going to make $43.7 million this year. CJ's making 30, and it only goes up from there. I mean, Dame's going to make $54 million in 2024. You have to get rid of him before he is just a horrible chunk of change on your payroll and is old, So anyway, that's my thought.
yeah. So I was perusing the Timberwolves Reddit. I love looking at what fans are thinking to just get a pulse on what's going on. There have been multiple people saying trade CJ for Brandon Ingram. And then they just said do whatever it takes, get a trade surrounding CJ for Brandon Ingram. I think that could be really cool. I can see why like the Pelicans would do that. I don't know if that'll ever happen. There's a lot of people wanting to keep an eye on Paul George to see
that
what
was
happens.
my thought too.
Yeah. He would be perfect in Portland.
Thinking that they could get him for like CJ and Robert Covington and maybe a protected first is what people are saying.
But why would the Clippers do that? Is that
mixing things up, adding depth? I don't know why they would do that, frankly, but
yeah,
I don't think they do, honestly.
That's kind of been my thinking is like if they need like a good wing, who can they get and still keep this team relatively in the same?
My thought is that the Clippers gave up everything to get Paul George. They're not going to just be like, okay, we'll take CJ. They're going to try to make this thing happen with Paul George, unless they can get a big haul back for him. And I don't think Portland can give them that haul.
No, I'm sure there's other teams who could give a lot more. If they wanted to trade Paul George, I'm sure there's other teams who would give them a lot more.
Oh, for sure.
To try to recover some of the shit ton of assets that they gave up for him. Yeah. Any way you look at it, I can't really see them trying to make another run that would be anything close to or anything better than what they've already done. And I think blowing it up now is the smartest decision. I think CJ to New Orleans would be sick because that's a perfect player to go alongside Zion. And then you get a young player like Brandon Ingram out of it. That would be dope. I would do that in a heartbeat if I was Portland.
Are you worried about the age difference? I mean, CJ's 30 years old.
No, not so much, just because of his style of play.
And also because of how young the Pelicans are, like they can stand to
Good to have
add
someone like
a
that.
reliable vet, who's kind of been in the trenches. So I think
Absolutely.
CJ would be great. If we had the means to bring on CJ McCollum, I'd be going after him too. But we don't need him. Like
We don't need him. We got
sorry,
great cards.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
My trade for CJ was to the Bulls.
Oh, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about
that. Was what I
had
had for Damian as one of the top. I had like three.
Damian
my top
to the
three.
Bulls. No way. All right, we'll get there.
My top three, the Bulls were in there. I think number 3.
Well, yeah, okay. We'll get in there. All right. Next, should we keep talking about the Lakers?
Well, we have some trades about the Lakers, but we'll get there with the trades. So we'll keep moving on.
I'm gonna shout out my friend Quentin here, who is supposed to be on this pod today and was not. Great day for haters around the world. Lakers are out. LeBron was mad. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, like, Chris Paul was like faking the Andre Drummond like post up where he like goes shoulders first on the post up. He was like doing that. And then there's what's his name? Jay Crowder mocking LeBron in front of him, doing like a salsa dance from the commercial. No reason to be that petty, but I love it. Great day for the haters. So
he was Crowder was like on next level pettiness this whole series, basically, whether it was tweeting or on the court. It was pretty impressive. So it's like
you need someone like that.
Yeah, I would kill to have Jay Crowder on the Kings. Like, I would love that. Like, he is exactly the kind of guy we need on this team.
They got him on a decent contract too for his like intangibles and everything. So Lakers, I think they're fine. I think they need to bring in more people, obviously, because LeBron's only getting a year older. I think like Anthony Davis is going to bounce back next year. I think he's going to have like MVP season. I feel pretty confident about that. Frank Vogel's a good coach. They're going to find a way to make it happen. They're the Lakers. They're going to find people. So,
I think they just need a bit more shooting. I think would really make a big difference there.
Well, I'm sure that can be rectified in the trades, huh?
Yeah, that leads right into potential trade ideas.
Yeah, people have been words have been out, about Buddy Hield to the Lakers, and you know what? I'm not going to resist it. I'm just hearing all these things, I'm hearing, I'm seeing, I'm reading, not doubting. All right. Anyone else y'all want to talk about? Y'all want to talk about Knicks? Y'all want to talk about
the Mavericks?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Did y'all watch that game tonight?
I didn't get to see tonight's game, but I've been watching the other ones, and so I have a I have a very nerdy reference, but it reminded me very much of watching Doncic and watching the Mavs. So if you guys have ever, I know Tyler has, Alvin, I don't know if you've seen the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yes.
The very first one, it's at the very end, and Boromir is like fighting off a shit ton of orcs, and like Merry and Pippin, the little hobbits, are behind him. So he's protecting them, and he's getting like shot with arrows. And then he gets up and keeps killing more by himself, and they're just sitting back watching. I was like, that's Luka Doncic. Like, he's just like taking all these hits from the Clippers, and the Mavs are just behind him, just kind of like, oh my God, what do we do? I guess we'll just watch him. And he's just taking shots by himself. And so that was pretty much like Luka was on like God level basketball play, just doing it all by himself against what is supposed to be a juggernaut in the Clippers. And the rest of his team is just kind of helplessly watching him, not really knowing what to do about it. And unfortunately, Porzingis falls into that pool of people too.
One of my favorite tweets, like this whole week, tweet of the week: Porzingis ain't 7'3". That dude is 5'27". Dude plays like a shooting guard, which is fine, But then he plays defense like a shooting guard too, just gets knocked over more easily because his center of gravity is taller. Like,
Yeah, his stats for this series were like all over the place. They were like he would put up like 8 or 7 points a game and like 5 rebounds. Or actually, no, he really sucks at rebounding. Only tonight did he have a double-digit rebounding game in this series.
How is that possible? He's like
Yeah.
7'3".
Like,
That's just absurd.
yeah,
he's on the perimeter a lot, right? But
yeah.
I'm
He also-
looking at his stats right here. He's never averaged. Okay, so outside Dallas, he averaged 9.5 rebounds his first year. On the Knicks, he never averaged more than 7.3 total
that's
rebounds.
insane.
Yeah,
He also
so
only
bad.
got 2 blocks in this entire series, from what I'm seeing, unless he got one in game 1. But yeah,
Looking
he's
like
just
Willie Cauley-Stein out there, dude.
they
Jeez.
literally I think we're using Willie more so than him at certain times,
Oh,
which is just like you have to be so desperate to put in Willie Cauley-Stein and say, hey, go get some rebounds for us, because it's just he's not going to do it. But apparently neither is Porzingis.
man,
Yeah.
if I'm the Mavericks, I just get rid of everybody on this team besides Luka Doncic this summer. Total reset. Everybody sucks, dude. It's just I feel so bad for Luka, and it just makes me wonder like what he would be like if we had drafted him and he had Fox and Hield and Barnes and Holmes next to him.
I try
It's
really
just
hard
like-
not to go to that place.
Oh, why? Oh God,
You'll find nothing but sadness if you go down that.
it's just brutal,
So-
man.
So the first quarter of Game 7, I watched most of this game. I won't go too much in the specifics. Luka went off for like 19 points on like 5 of 7 shooting or something like that. Something ridiculous. He hit, I think it was 2 step back threes on consecutive possessions, and then like a post up fadeaway from the right elbow, and I just hit my head against the wall. And I'm just like, it's not fair, dude. Like, he's so good. He was so good, but I was just like, if no one else is gonna get anything going, like, this game is over. And then
Yeah.
going into halftime, like, Mavericks aren't too far behind. They're only a couple of points behind the Clippers. And then like I'm just watching the game. And then if I remember correctly, like it was the Clippers bench that pulled away from the Mavs bench, just showing how much their depth makes a difference there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also think that Rick Carlisle also got outcoached this series too. I think it's I think it's largely because he doesn't have many other options besides just pounding the ball with Luka. But like Ty Lue did a great job this series, and yeah, can't say the same about Carlisle right now. So
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they can give Lucas some help like the Hawks gave Trae Young some help, because the Hawks are rolling, as much as I hate to see it. But it's amazing what some depth will do.
yeah,
Help your all-star guy out, you know.
It does
Yeah.
bring some joy to see Bogdanovich like tearing it up. Like we all
Yeah.
knew, like if the Kings ever
yeah.
made it to the postseason, he would like show up and be
Oh my
awesome.
gosh.
And so it's nice to see him doing it. Like that's pretty cool.
yeah, most definitely. But if you one of the benefits of having a lot of depth is being able to trade for stars, as the Nets have done.
Mhm.
Did y'all watch
Oh.
the Bucks Nets game today? It's pretty
I
good.
just know that Harden got injured and they still won.
Yeah, it's kind of
He,
just like when,
re-aggravated his hamstring.
yeah, when those three are like playing together and like clicking, which is pretty much anytime they're playing together, they're like on another level. And I don't know if anybody, at least in the East, can even compare them, if I'm honest. Like I just don't see
Offensively,
them.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening. Like I think that like Clippers and Jazz are like the only two teams that I look at and I'm like, okay, these are the only two that could maybe compete with them. But like I think they're just going to steamroll the East basically, as long as they're healthy. But even with James Harden out, like they're still good enough to beat everyone in the East for sure.
He's yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know how the Bucks have a great defense. I don't know how they're going to defend KD and Kyrie, two of the best isolation players along in the NBA. And then when James Harden comes back, who's arguably still the best isolation player in the NBA, like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Giannis getting to the bucket all the time can only do so much and drawing fouls. And Brook Lopez had a great game tonight, as he should, like against them. But again, you can only do so much, right?
Yeah.
So I was expecting this series to be like a 7-game series, super tight every game, and
same.
Maybe the Bucks just need to get their legs under them, but we'll see. I'm excited to see what happens. So, anyone else y'all want to talk about? Y'all want to talk about Knicks, Sixers, Jazz?
Yeah, Sixers I think have been relatively, I don't really know what to think about them. I'm still very much on the like trade Ben Simmons bandwagon thing. Like I think they have to. They've given it more than enough time between him and Joel Embiid to play together. Like Ben Simmons is like he refuses to shoot, and he's now becoming a liability in crunch time because of how bad his free throw shooting is. Like it's just unbelievable how bad he is at like shooting free throws.
So
I've been hearing a lot of Sixers interest in a Buddy Bagley and a first for Ben Simmons trade. I don't know how true that is, but
yeah,
you know, like it's going around. For some reason, Daryl Morey's down, and I mean,
there's a podcast that talks about it. I heard about that one. Yeah.
Okay, cool, good. I'm glad that we're verifying our sources here. So go ahead, Tyler.
My question was, if the Sixers lose in the second round, which would be, did they lose in the second or third round last year? I don't remember.
I think it was the second.
Was the second?
Because it was Heat and Celtics, I think, in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Okay. They lose again in the second round. I mean, they got to make a move. You know, like Nick was saying, they've tried this a number of times. They've gotten more shooters and it's still not working, even though they had a great season, but it doesn't matter if you keep losing the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of like, for me, it's like Ben Simmons. It's one thing to have a guy who's not a great shooter, but will still shoot outside of like 5 feet of the rim, but like he literally refuses to shoot at all. And so it's just like, when you have your other best player is a big man, like that's just not going to work. Like even if Embiid can shoot outside somewhat, like it's just not going to work. And yeah, they need to trade him now and get somebody.
Like in what way has Ben Simmons evolved his game since he's come into the league?
Dude, that was my
he's a
hot
better
take
defender
like years ago. Yeah,
okay, his defense is a little better.
That was
he's an all NBA defender, and he wasn't.
You guys
when he
called
came
me
in.
crazy. I like after his second season, I said I don't see him getting any better than he is right now. Like I remember saying, I was like, I think he's plateaued. Like as crazy as it sounds, like unless he changes his mindset and wants to actually try to shoot.
He's an all NBA defender. He's improved his passing, like super efficient around the bucket. If anything, he's only gotten more efficient. Like I think he's been pretty static the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But you know, sources have been saying CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons. You know, a lot of interest there from both sides, and
that's a no deal on the Sixers end. That's a hard pass.
I need a little more. I need a little more.
Okay, Alvin.
It's a good start.
Looking at surface level stats, nothing too advanced. He's always averaged between 14 and 16, 17 points a game. He's averaged 7 or 8 assists, averaged about 7 or 8 rebounds every year. None of that has changed. And actually, this was his worst passing year. He only got 7 assists compared to 8 last year. And worst scoring, 14 compared to 16. And he's always injured. So
That's another thing.
I mean, his defense is great, but his offense just hasn't changed at all.
My rebuttal is I watch him and I see that that he's one of the best defenders in the NBA. And that
yeah, 100%.
And that was not the case when he came in. He was a good defender. If you look at his per 36 minutes, like the numbers are pretty similar despite having Tobias Harris, more shooters, more ball handlers around him. Like his per has gone down, which if you're into per, like that's gone down. His assist percentages have gone down. I think his like rebound rate has gone down slightly. I mean, I agree that he has a lot of work to do, and that work that is blatantly obvious has not been done. But I would do so much to get Ben Simmons if I were any team.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Is he better at the center position? That way he doesn't have to worry about shooting as much, you know? He's 6'10", 230. He's a 3
or a 4, in my opinion.
I keep him at the 4. I definitely keep him at the 4.
But if he's going to refuse to shoot, like he's got, what do you do about that? You know? There's only so many stretch fives.
It would, yeah. I mean, the difference is that with the Sixers, your other best player is a big. Say he went to another team that had a really good wing or a guard who can shoot. Well, then you can kind of open things up and kind of design your team accordingly. But the Sixers, it revolves around Embiid because he's their best player. But he needs to be somewhere down there for the most part. But it's always clogged because teams know that Ben Simmons will refuse to shoot the basketball ever. And so it just clogs everything up for them too. But if your other best player is like a really good shooting guard or a wing, well, then that can open things up way more.
I guess I agree. It just seems like if he was traded to a different team and if he was put at the 5 and did like the Draymond Green role where he just doesn't need to score a lot, but he's facilitating the offense, he's playing defense, he's rebounding, leading the team in that way. Maybe that's a better role for him.
Maybe a 3-team trade to get him to the Warriors.
I mean,
they can't afford that unless they trade Wiggins.
They already have
Draymond. They already have Draymond
young people.
Green, they don't need him.
I think
if
Draymond
the Warriors could, they would try to trade. Yeah, I'm sure they would trade Draymond in a heartbeat if they could get Ben Simmons out of it somehow.
They would have to get rid of dump Wiggins somewhere too.
Which I'm also sure they would be more than happy to do to get Ben Simmons.
A lot of people talk about how Andrew Wiggins has been an all-NBA defender this year. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't. Best of luck to the guy. Like, I hope he succeeds. I hope his family does well. I hope he does everything he wants to in life. I don't like watching him play basketball at all.
Also, like his track record is like, okay, give me at least one more season of you doing this before I have a little bit more faith in you. Because like your track record's not great, my guy.
Pretty poor.
Right, here's a question. Let's say the Sixers get steamrolled in the second round by the freaking Hawks, you know? The Sixers want to trade Ben Simmons. Can the Kings get him? Is there a way? Is there can we trade Barnes and Buddy for Simmons and something else and picks? And then we have Fox and
tip of my tongue, Buddy Bagley in the first.
Shit. I feel like that's just the go-to. Anytime we're talking about Kings trades, it's Buddy Bagley in the first. For any person we want, Buddy Bagley. Throw in a second first. I don't give a shit.
Come on, Monte, make it happen.
Yeah,
real quick. Anyway,
I think the answer is no. I don't think we're in it unless It's like a mid-season trade, and Bagley is killing it.
Or
Yeah.
if we get a top pick,
That would change
helps.
things. Yeah.
That
If we get a
helps.
top 4, then all of a sudden that kind of changes things. But
I think it'd have to
Okay.
be a 3-team trade, and
Okay,
it would include Bradley Beal or Damian
that
Lillard.
would make more sense. Yeah.
how about
So-
this? A top 4 pick, Halliburton and Barnes for Ben Simmons. Too much?
No,
I wouldn't do that. No chance. No way.
I think that's what they want, though. They would want
Probably.
a huge package.
what was the pick? Halliburton and who?
And Barnes or Buddy, I suppose. Yeah.
I wouldn't do
Oh,
it.
that would be tough.
If you're saying we have a top 4 pick, no.
Let's
No.
say it's the 4th pick. Right.
That gives us a chance at like Jalen Suggs. I want
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs.
It's either Green or Suggs. Which if it's Green, I'll take Green. I'd gladly take Green.
I'll take any of them. Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
either of them. I don't care that it overlaps. Like,
Just
give me
make
the
it
best
work.
player.
Get the talent, make it work.
Yeah.
Okay. 9th pick, Halliburton and Barnes or Buddy for Simmons.
We're getting the best player in the trade,
Yeah.
which
I
really
can't imagine
matters
them
there.
doing that, honestly. Well, maybe. But
I can't imagine. I think there's going to be probably some Damian Lillard for Ben Simmons talk.
That
can see
one. Ooh. Oh.
I mean, he would be just unreal
Oh.
with him and Embiid together. That would just
Yeah.
be
And Tobias Harris. Oh my
ridiculous.
gosh.
That would
Yeah.
open things up in a way that you would like, because you have to respect Damian. As soon as he crosses half court, you have to respect his shot.
I think the James Harden trade, when there was talk about that, was
Oh yeah.
Harden for Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, and Filler. You just offer
Was
the
it
same thing for
Houston
Dame.
that didn't take that? Like
It
it was.
did
I think the
not.
Sixers were interested and they didn't, which is like, what are you doing? Like
Who knows, man?
So
that just
stupid.
blew. I was like, I would take that. Not even if it was just Simmons for Harden straight up, I would do that over whatever shit they did.
What did they get in that trade? They got like a bunch of picks from the Nets.
It was like pick swaps and shit, right? Like it wasn't that
Picks and
good
pick
of a trade.
swaps.
Not enough
mean, they-
is the answer.
It was
They
not
got-
enough. Yeah, it was just kind of like, dude, what do you like? Good thing you turned down Ben Simmons for all that, you know?
Yeah. All right. We've been throwing out a lot of trades, and I think a lot of us are just biting it, like
Let's just get into
chomping
it.
at the bit. Let's just get
Pretty
into the
much.
trades, huh?
Yeah.
Trade machine Tyler back at it again.
What you
Pew, pew,
got?
pew.
All right. Let's talk.
All right. So word on the street is that the Kings could have interest in Kyle Kuzma. I hear some sources saying that.
I am the source.
Alvin is the source. Spoiler. Yes. For all those fans listening, the 3 of us were talking about a Kyle Kuzma trade this week, and I was looking at ways to do that. And do you guys have some Kuzma trades too that we could all discuss and compare, or it's just me?
Nothing specific now.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll
bring it.
go in. So, okay, let me pull it up here. I actually have a full rebuild that I can share with you guys for the Kings, or a retool or whatever. So for Kuzma, it's a little tricky with matching salaries because the Lakers have such big contracts in LeBron James and AD. You kind of have to be a little creative with it. So if the trade is Kyle Kuzma to the Kings, there's a couple ways you could do it. You would have to send Buddy Hield, because I'm sure the Lakers would love to have Hield next to LeBron and AD. I couldn't even imagine how much
That would
better
be so
Buddy would
good.
be next to LeBron James.
That would be so good.
He would just be jacking threes and getting such open looks. It would be ridiculous. I would love that. Part of my assumption here is that Montrezl Harrell opts out, and so the Lakers have an extra $9.7 million to play with. We would probably have to take back Marc Gasol and Alfonso McKinney to make the money work. I don't know if the Lakers would do that, or if they'd rather do a swap for KCP and DeLon Wright. That also works. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you think they really liked Marc Gasol, or are they kind of like, that didn't really work that well? 'Cause they didn't
He
play him
showed
as
this
much.
year that he's really good in spot minutes, but he's
Mhm.
not your like de facto center. He's just
Yeah.
not fast enough,
No.
right? He's just going to get targeted every possession. And that's okay,
Yeah.
but it's also obvious that he's like when he's out there with LeBron and AD,
He's
he
better.
is smart.
Yeah.
The team is better. He's so smart. He can shoot the three. He can keep the ball moving. He's a good facilitator. He knows where to put his feet, even though he's not as fast as everyone else. I don't know what the contract looks like, but I'm sure that they would want to keep him around.
Yeah.
He's
I
making
think they'd be
2.6 million next year.
No
I think
brainer.
they'd much rather get rid of KCP than Marc Gasol, honestly.
Which is fine as long
Yeah.
as they're okay with taking back DeLon Wright. So I mean, if they want to run DeLon Wright, Buddy Hield, LeBron James, AD, and a center, I don't know how good that makes them.
What
That's
was,
where.
what was the trade again, Tyler? I'm sorry.
So for doing KCP, so the trade would be Kyle Kuzma and KCP for Buddy Hield and DeLon Wright.
I've been seeing that the Kings are getting more. They're getting a first out of that too.
I don't know, man. Buddy Hield's contract is still not great.
Yeah,
And he had his
but
worst season. His value is as low as it's been.
Kuzma's value is also as low as it's been too. Like
Yeah,
Lakers
that's kinda
fans
what I
do
would
not
think.
like Kuzma, which is usually again a sign. Like if the fans don't really like him, he's probably not that good. But I'm willing to take a chance on him. Like
But
I think he's kind of just been one of the players that's kind of been brushed aside and like gotten a much worse rap than I think he deserves.
mhm.
he just doesn't have a good role in the team.
Yeah,
It's really
they just
undefined.
have mismanaged him, I think.
He doesn't fit with AD. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, he's only making $13 million next year. And he's on contract for the next 3 years. Like he's just starting his extension on a great deal. He's still 25. I don't know. Buddy Hield just doesn't have much value. Like to get a first rounder, do you really think we could? Because I'm not so sure about that.
I think you start with that and you go from there.
Sure.
I think everybody thinks Buddy Hield will be better on a different team.
Oh
I
yeah,
would hope so.
I think I think they all know it, but they're gonna try to milk it like, oh, I don't know, he didn't have all these good seasons, but they know that he would be an amazing player, like next to their guys or whatever. They would
I
make him.
also think that a lot of fans, at the very least, like we've seen our opinion of Buddy Hield go up and down and up and down, and for the most part, people have been pretty streamlined. Like when Buddy Hield won the 3-point contest, they were just like, "Oh my gosh, he won!
Yeah.
He was that good at shooting." And I don't think that sentiment's gone away. They're probably just like, "Oh yeah, that guy won the 3-point shooting contest." If they read any headlines or like they have like some ESPN guy talk about it, there'll be like, "Oh yeah, Buddy Hield averages 40% from three, like on 10 threes a game or something
Yeah.
like that." And then he won the 3-point contest. He can handle the ball a little bit and he can pass the ball a little bit. Like he also just needs to be in more of a system offense, personally. So
Yeah.
big time.
I mean, he's still $5 million overpaid, in my opinion. He should be making like 18 at most, like Bogdan got, so like you have to take that into consideration.
yeah. So I think Kuzma would be a really good value pickup. And if we can shed Buddy's contract,
I would
be
that.
happy. And
Mhm.
picking up I think KCP would honestly do 80% of what Buddy Hield does. Like,
And here's the kicker with KCP. His second year on his contract is non-guaranteed. So we can just like cut him next year and open up $13 million with the cap space. So
That's pretty nice, actually.
that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and he'd be a great 6-man or a great trade chip, to further open up some different trades in the future.
Mhm.
So I think it'd be cool to have him.
Yeah. I would do that.
My second trade is a new Jeremy Grant trade. I got
Okay.
creative at this
I feel like
one.
we're gonna
All right,
get
you
a
ready
new
for
Jeremy
this?
Grant trade every
Oh yeah, until we get them. I'm gonna keep pumping them out. Okay, it's a 3-team trade. Harrison Barnes to the Grizzlies. Kyle Anderson and Justice Winslow to the Pistons. The Grizzlies send their 2022 first round pick from Utah, top 10 protected or something. The Kings send a first round pick to the Pistons, and the Pistons send Jeremy Grant to the Kings. Thoughts?
So we would give up Barnes and a first, basically.
And we get Jeremy Grant back. And the Grizzlies send the expiring contracts of Kyle Anderson and Winslow and a 2022 Utah first round pick. And the Grizzlies get Harrison Barnes.
Is ours just a future first rounder?
I think it might have to be this year's pick if it's the 9th pick, potentially, or it could be future. I wasn't totally sure on. I guess I had this year's pick if it goes 9.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'll do that. If it's 9, if it's not a top 4, I would totally do that.
Oh gosh. I don't know how to feel about it because I'm not sure how I feel about Jeremy Grant anymore. I don't think he's like near all-star level personally. I think he's pretty good.
It was kind of inflated. Like his value's inflated quite a bit.
But that's why we should get him while his value is a little bit lower, because I think he just ran out of steam because his team sucks so bad. Like if he's got some
they were pretty bad.
If he's got Fox and Halliburton and
Holmes,
everyone else, and he can be the second guy instead of the only guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we need his defense, we need his scoring, we need a real wing. And I think that Barnes on the Grizzlies would be pretty cool. I think he'd be a great fit for them.
Yeah, he would be, I think, a perfect fit for them. And he's kind of exactly what they need too.
Yeah. And the Pistons get some first round picks. They can take a look at Justice Winslow. They're all expiring.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be cool. It kind of hurts to see Kyle Anderson get traded not to the Kings. I love Slow-Mo so much. He's one of my favorite guys. I advocated to have him on the Kings when he signed that Grizzlies contract. And
yeah, you've been on him for quite a while.
I wanted him too then. I was hoping we'd get him.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that would be pretty cool. I think like that's gotta be, I guess the question is that enough for the Pistons, which I would hope it is.
Oh, it's gotta be to get 2 first rounders and expiring contracts for Jeremy Grant. Not to mention a top 10 pick in this draft. I mean, that's they gotta be stoked about that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my final trade is assuming that the Blazers blow it up. We go for Yusuf Nurkic if we don't have enough cap space to re-sign Holmes. Okay, so Nurkic is making $12 million next year, and then he's a free agent. So we trade Bagley in 2 seconds.
I'm listening.
Alvin's ears perked up a little.
Yeah.
So Marvin Bagley is making, what is he making?
I think it's
$11.3 million. So the salaries match up. We have Portland's 2025 and 2024 second round picks because we did that trade with Harry Giles or whatever and Wenyan Gabriel a couple years ago. So we can give them back their second round pick and Marvin Bagley. We get the expiring contract of Yusuf Nurkic. What do you guys think? Is that enough?
What is it again? 2 seconds and Bagley?
In 2 seconds.
We're giving Portland back their second round picks in 2024 and 2025 and Marvin Bagley for Yusuf Nurkic, who is expiring.
I would say yes immediately if the Blazers offered it to us and I knew that I wasn't getting Rashawn Holmes back. I would say yes immediately.
I agree. Do you think the Blazers do it though? If they're blown up, they're making moves.
I think if they're blowing it up, then they would. Because I'm like, I don't really know how much they could get for him outside of that anywhere else. Like you might as well get like a young player who still has crazy potential. Like,
yeah, we talk about trading Bagley on this podcast multiple times per episode.
Yeah.
But at least for me, it's not like an animosity thing.
No, I mean, it's,
Nothing
I think it's
personal.
pretty like widely accepted. Like he's ready to go. The Kings are ready to go. So it's like, okay, well, what can we get? So we don't just, we got to get rid of him because his salary is so high as a rookie. And it's like, okay, well, let's figure something out here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure.
So my starting five with all this is De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, Jeremy Grant, Kyle Kuzma, and Yusuf Nurkic. Thoughts on that starting five?
That's an 8 seed, baby.
Defense is like significantly is probably worse. Like bad. Like because Nurkic is bad at defense. Kuzma has like improved, but he's still probably not very good. Now Jeremy Grant helps. But man, that could be rough defensively. Like that could be possibly worse than this year.
I don't
Yeah,
think
and that sucks because we're getting rid of our best defender there in Rashawn Holmes too.
Yeah,
like we're assuming that we're losing him, which we still might. We might not even do that Nurkic trade and still lose him. And
yeah,
it is what it is, I guess. But
it's just like a value thing. Like, what can you get for Bagley?
yeah, and I mean Nurkic is expiring, so they're getting some sort of value out of him. Like, yeah, I would definitely at least consider it. I'd bring it to maybe the Sacramento Kings' new senior analyst, but we'll see. Shout out Zach. So
I would think about it, but man, I don't know.
I would rather see if I could sign Andre Drummond to like the mid-level exception or something like that. Like,
that was
he's like a Hall of Fame rebounder, guys. Come on.
That was so rough watching him play in LA this postseason. Like that was just like, that was infuriating.
I bet he has a bounce back season wherever he goes next. If he's given a consistent role, I think he'll be fine.
What would his role be though?
Starting center. Probably fourth best player on the team. Just don't ask him to do too much and give him some space. It's not very it's not a particularly enthusiastic response. I get it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I can just imagine Kings fans not being happy about them.
No. Who would be?
Like in the same way that like not nearly as bad, but like in the same way that like the Hassan Whiteside re-signing last year was. They'll look at it in a similar vein.
If we can get him for like 3 years, 30 million, I would do it. So
yeah, depends. I mean, if it all depends on Rashawn if he's gone or not.
Yeah. Well, things are looking pretty bleak here, huh?
Hey, I did my best.
It's not working, Jerry. It's not working.
You're making something out of what's what's nothing but worse.
Yeah.
Marvin Bagley. I'm sorry.
I was so tempted when we were talking about Luka Doncic earlier, and we were like all the good things he's doing. I was very tempted to just like say, but what about the second bounce? Or second jump? Like, but I figured it's too soon.
Oh my gosh.
Second bounce. Trash.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's dumb.
Oh god.
Man. Well, you know what? Why don't we just cosplay fans of other teams? We can pretend that we're Nuggets fans this series.
That would be so neat.
Nuggets Jazz this series. That's gonna be pretty good. I'm gonna say it's gonna go 6 games at least. And
I thought it was Jazz Clippers.
Oh, my fault. Jazz Clippers,
Yeah,
Nuggets.
Which is gonna be
Nuggets.
That's
Suns.
gonna be a gnarly series.
One thing that's interesting, there's a statistic that I saw. DeAndre Ayton doesn't foul.
Yeah, he needs a lot more respect because, man, he's been so much better this year. And I think, shout out just better coaching and probably Chris Paul as well. But like they really got him like figured out how to use him, and he's been thriving.
I remember after
Okay.
Bagley's rookie season, it was just like, man, Bagley's not Doncic, but at least he's better than Ayton. That's
Yeah.
not the case. Like
I remember
that's
thinking
absolutely
that
not.
too.
Did you guys see that Chris Paul wants to decline his player option and get a long-term deal?
Yeah.
Of course
What do
he
you
does.
pay Chris Paul for the next 3 years?
Oh, good question.
That is just like he's what 37, 36.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
Did he say he wants to stay with the Suns, or
I'm sure
is
he would-
just open?
I'm
love
assuming
to.
so. Yeah.
I mean, I think he'll go where the money takes him, but he'll give the Suns a first chance, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
He's
you have the
making-
Knicks right there,
Oh,
ready to
that
sign
would be
him.
so cool.
You know,
That would be dope.
yeah.
I want the Knicks to get somebody so bad.
Well, the Suns, though, they got some big money problems ahead of them because they got to pay. Where'd it go? DeAndre Ayton. They got to extend him this summer. They have to extend Mikal Bridges this summer. They got Devin Booker on his extension already. And then they have to pay Chris Paul if they want to keep him. And all those guys want big money. I mean, they're going to have to
offer Mikal Bridges. Like what?
Well, he said he wants like a max, which is absurd.
Oof, yeah, dude. Okay.
I'm giving him like 18. Or
I love
something.
Bridges, but he's not a max guy. Like that's insane.
He's high teens, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
I would give him. I'd go 4 years, 100 for him.
you give 25 million. to
I'd
Mikal
give him the
Bridges.
Jaylen Brown contract.
He's not as good of a scorer, though.
Yeah, but he's a better shooter, better defender.
I mean, you just got to think about how do you keep these guys together? Because I mean, what do you pay Ayton? What's he worth?
Probably
That's
right around.
tough.
Probably right
Yeah.
around there too.
Same thing. Yeah.
I would see if you can. I would see if you can get him for like 480 or something like that.
Yeah, my thought was 480 as well.
That would be awesome to get him for that.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
Yeah, I think both those guys should get close to 20, but I think they're both going to want more. Like I'm sure Ayton thinks he's a max player too. Like all these guys think they're max players. Which
Aren't
is
there
just
like qualifications for that? Like you have to like qualify to like earn the max. Like you have to like have something like all league or all star or something.
no.
I don't quite have an answer for that. It's the like designated star player thing to get that 5th year team option. That
Oh,
5th
that's
year
what that's for.
contract.
Okay.
That's
what I was
that
thinking of.
that for sure. You can only designate. I think you have to designate a player as the star to get that 5th year. That being said, I'm excited to see the Knicks like mess some stuff up in free agency. You know, maybe they do some like crazy contract offer to Rashawn Holmes. Maybe they do some like Jeremy Lin bomb contract to the Suns, you know, just give
don't know
Chris
about
Paul
that.
$50 million. Just give Chris Paul like $45 or $50 million his first year, and then like 10 million or 15 million the years after, you know, just to
I
get
was
him off
reading
the Suns.
that Chris Paul could still get 3 years, $120 million.
Mhm.
Like that's where his value is still.
Well, he's
Which
the
is
NBA
just
Players
nuts.
Association like president. He's
That's
Yeah.
true.
all of the stuff that was like negotiated. He's gonna benefit from. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So
How can you justify paying a 39-year-old $40 million? He's already breaking down in the playoffs every year, you know? That's just
Yeah, he
scary.
can't
Like
stay healthy to save his
who
life.
does that?
They would have won a
Risky.
championship if he would have stayed healthy in
I
Houston.
know.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks do something like that with someone because they can
Oh, I'm
afford
sure.
to. Just
Yeah.
like do a crazy front-loaded contract. Yeah, like the Rockets did to the Knicks with Jeremy Lin, with our guy. Also, I should say, a lot of respect for Jeremy Lin, our my Asian baller out there. Not in the NBA anymore, and I think he's fine with that. And, a lot of respect for the guy. 9-year pro, great player. Some of my favorite moments. As a basketball fan. And I don't know about you guys. We should probably talk about some of our favorite moments of the Kings this year, just to lighten up the mood. Unless you guys want to talk about that 50-point loss to the Jazz is one of your
Some
favorite
kind of
moments of the year.
positivity, ideally.
Let's just think about some positivity to end it, huh?
Yeah, I
So,
like
Those
that.
those 2 9-game losing streaks are pretty cool. The ping pong balls were bouncing harder. That was fun to watch. So
that was pretty good. As
good times.
you're just a lot of expectations. That's winning 6 out of 8, feeling good. Like, man, we might make the play-in tournament. Like, looks like De'Aaron Fox is like trying to get to the playoffs, like or All-Star game, last minute bid, and then boom, lots of losing. So,
What a roller coaster.
loser,
Yeah.
In all honesty, my favorite moment, which would be more than a moment, but it was the month of March when De'Aaron Fox was averaging 30 points a game. Like, seeing that was just like, yes, like we have a player, we have a true all-star. Like, he is kicking ass. It was just something hopeful,
Yeah, really making something out of nothing there. The
Big time.
the free flowing offense thing that Luke Walton does, where he's just like, y'all go do what you want.
Yeah.
Like, and De'Aaron's benefiting, and I love that for him, So
Yeah. I think the one that came to mind for me it was pretty early on in the season when there was still some hope. They were starting to play a little bit better, and they were playing Chicago at home, and it was coming down to the wire. It was like the last minute of the game. They were up by like 3 points, and I think it was like on a transition or something, and they dished it to Halliburton at the 3, and I can't remember who was guarding him, but they did a really hard closeout where they totally jumped, and he pump faked, did a little step back, and then like drained a 3 with like 40 seconds left to like put the dagger in it. And it was just like, that was like my, okay, Halliburton's the real deal, man. And it was like, I remember thinking like, I really wish fans were there to see that, to like just witness this like rookie coming in out of nowhere and just like closing games and like just doing crazy shit. And yeah, that was
incredible. Yeah, that was a really good moment. Halliburton had a lot of really good moments this year.
Clutch.
And just being clutch. I think my favorite moment, which I'm kind of surprised y'all didn't mention, I'll just say 2 words: butt tap. I'll say 4 words: Harrison Barnes butt tap
against Cleveland. Yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
So Kings coming back from a pretty big deficit against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We were on a losing streak. I think we were on a 9-game losing streak. We were losing by double digits deep into the 4th quarter against the Cavs. We make a comeback, and then we win it on De'Aaron Fox, just Hail Mary from the opposite baseline to the corner 3. Harrison Barnes catches it, turns around, like step back 3, and just as he walks away, he just gives a nice pat to a dumbfounded Colin Sexton. Incredible moment.
Because I think Colin Sexton right before that had like scored and was like talking mad shit. And so he does that right after and then gives him a nice hard slap on the ass as he just drained a game winner. And it was like, oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's to more of that this upcoming season, huh? I want nothing more. Yeah. Quick little cheers there, huh?
More
Cheers.
positive moments, hopefully.
Give it to us. So, Monty, make it happen. Get Ben Simmons to the Kings. I don't know. Get Dame to the Kings.
Oh
just
my
make the
God.
team better. Give us
Something.
the playoff berth so I can fly in from San Antonio to Sacramento, watch a
Yeah.
playoff game.
I would love nothing more than to be in Sacramento for a playoff game.
Amen.
Just to be at the G1C in the plaza.
That's all. That's all I wanted. That's all I've wanted, honestly. Is just to like be out there with everybody, just like going crazy watching the game. Yeah.
And to our listener, not listeners, but to our listener, we're sure that if you're listening to this, you probably want the exact same thing. And you know what? Like when that happens, I'll be there. I'll be there. You'll get to meet one of the Bev boys at least. And
we'll all be there, Alvin.
Yeah, all the Bev boys.
There. That's not
love to see it. Love
we'll have a Bev boys booth where everyone can come meet us, all the fans. We'll have some swag to give away. It'll be great. We'll do like a live podcast from the G1C.
Hell yeah.
But I'm 100% serious about this.
I will
podcast
money
but
to fly
outside
out for that. Yeah.
Love to see it, which we could have done because we were all at the beach together this past weekend. And with that, we're going to close, Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bev Boys Basketball Broadcast where, you're going to expect a lot of ups and downs because we're all Kings fans. So a lot of sad stuff and hopefully some stuff that's positive down the line. If you like what you're hearing, give us that 5-star rating, give us a like, comment, subscribe. If you F with us, maybe hit us up on Instagram, come find us, hope you have a beautiful and blessed night, everyone. Cheers.
Yeah. Stay sweet.
Peace.